up in the castle too, and had become more like a brother than a friend. He looked up at her with wide wolf eyes. "You sure you don't want me showing it to Mr. Connolly?" "No." Her voice broke the silence of the night. "My dad doesn't want anything to do with my art." She may have been little Isabel Connolly to her father, but she was Bella Nolan to the art world. Her paintings of werewolves in majestic settings had been sold worldwide, sometimes for hundreds of thousands of dollars. There weren't many who knew the truth. "But you've got a magic touch with those paintings of yours. You're a rising star in London." He patted his paws around the dirt. "Probably America, too. Wouldn't Mr. Connolly like to know before he—" "I'm working up the nerve to show him," she interrupted, removing the canvas from the board. "But I want to do it on my terms, and in my own time." Neil didn't know, but she'd already set in motion the plan to reveal the truth to her disapproving father. She'd spent the last year hunting down her paintings from all over the globe. She'd tracked the auction circuit, noting buyers' addresses, and making them offers they couldn't refuse. Money wasn't a problem. Not when time was slipping through her fingers. She didn't have long to show her father what she'd accomplished with her art. He'd been sick for a little more than a year. A rare form of cancer that affected only werewolves had spread from his lungs to his lymph nodes. Wolfpack doctors had given him less than 2 years to live, though they couldn't know for certain how long he really had left. Grief trickled into her heart and summoned tears to her eyes as she slipped the canvas into her bag. Even though it had been a year since her father's diagnosis, the pain stung as strongly as it had the first day. Her father had told her the sickness was a blessing. Every werewolf had to die when its time came. But this way, they could experience every moment as if it were their last. Their days would be lively and bright, heightened by the imminent loss. He'd told her to tie up loose ends, say what needed to be said before his final breath, before he was gone. But there was still one thing left undone, one thing she couldn't say. More than anything, she wanted her father to see all of her artwork together in one place before he closed his eyes and succumbed to the eternal sleep. Maybe then, when all 30 pieces were together again, he would understand the depth of her passion, the fire in her heart and the talent in her hand. The world had embraced her paintings, even if they didn't have a clue werewolves existed. Why couldn't her father, the alpha of their Irish wolf pack, embrace them, and her, too? "But you might not have much time left," Neil projected. "My mum says it's getting worse by the day." "I know." Fighting back tears, she scrawled her pseudonym on the bottom right-hand corner of the picture, the way she always did. Large B, illegible Ella, long, swooping legs of the N, scribbly Olin. "I've spent the entire year rounding up my paintings. I'm storing them in Dublin, in a room at the National Gallery of Ireland. I don't have them all yet, but I'm close. When you're ready, let me know, and I'll have my mum drop this one off too." "Thanks, Neil. That means a lot." Neil huffed in approval as puffs of condensation rose in front of his face. "How many Bella Nolan pieces are still in the wild?" 12, I think. She gathered up her painting supplies and tried not to think about how long it would take her to find the last few pieces of art. "Well, 13, if you count the first painting I did of my father. But that one is long gone now." "What happened to—" Her phone bleeped from her bag, interrupting him, thank goodness. She didn't want to delve into what happened with her first painting. How could she explain the story, yet hide the pain? Her father had said painting was a waste of time. An alpha's daughter should spend her days and nights studying tradition and pack policy. How could she express the shame she'd felt when her father flung her precious first piece of art into the hearth? It hadn't been lit when he'd chucked it,